Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Thursday, right? Yeah, Thursday. Um, Hope everyone's having a good week thus far. Uh, what we're going to be talking about today is actually really exciting for us internally. It's always a fun time when we announce a new formal partnership. And while we've had an integration for a while now, it's really exciting when you have a partnership like this with i360 or Improveit 360, formalized, inked, official, because at this point, this is where we get to start digging and making things a lot deeper and really cool and very exciting. So we're really pumped today to announce a formal partnership with Improveit 360, and we have members of their team on this call today to go through some of the functionality of the partnership and their platform. I'll be doing that as well on our end. We'll go through the agenda in just a second, but a couple little housekeeping pieces while we let everybody jump in and attend. First things first, every one of you should have that little pop-up from GoToWebinar on your screen. Do us a favor. If this thing is just us yakking away on our soapboxes, it gets really boring. So do us a favor. In that question section, that's where you're going to be able to drop any questions that you want us to answer. It's the way we keep this thing pretty interactive. First and foremost, the best thing that we can possibly do, tell us where you're joining from today. As always, the LEAP team is joining in from our corporate offices in like that DC, Baltimore area. Caroline, on your end, where are you guys dialing in from today? Caroline's the VP of Sales and Marketing for Improveit 360.
Hey, everybody. Nice to meet everyone. We are actually based out of the great city of Columbus, Ohio. And if I didn't say Go Bucks or OH and IO, then I wouldn't be a true Buckeye. But we are here in Columbus and really excited about this partnership.
Nice. It's not just Ohio State. It's the Ohio State, correct?
Darn right. And that happened actually when I was in college. So it was interesting to get used to that. But yes, it is definitely the Ohio State University.
Nice. Looks like we have some folks from Rhode Island, Michigan. I know if you're claiming Buckeye and there's somebody from Michigan, we have to clarify, are you a Michigan fan or Michigan State? Matthew, feel free to jump in and answer that one. Both. Household divided.
Hey, won't hold it against them.
Nice. All right, sweet. And we got some folks from Cleveland. It's funny with both Michigan and Michigan State. I grew up in Southern California, and it was always USC and UCLA. And while they used to be really good athletic institutions back in the days, they all suck now. So it's unfortunate. So, I mean, when you pay your players in football and coaches get sanctioned and go to the NFL, you have issues. So, yay, SC.
Yay.
Cool. So we'll give everybody a minute or two to join. In the meantime, here's what we also want to do. I've also got on the line Michelle Copenal, who's our marketing manager here at LEAP, put together a quick poll. So what we want to do is, it's always really helpful for us as teams here to understand what you guys currently use for your technology. So on the screen, you should be able to see now a quick question that says, hey, what do you use? Improveit 360, LEAP, both, or none, as in, how the hell did I get here? So feel free, go in and select what you guys use. This helps us a ton, especially when it comes to follow-up and answering questions, etc. This is where we can cater a lot of the messaging that you're going to see, not only to those that are using both, so we can understand what the integration does. If we're looking at the folks who solely use Improveit 360, we can also show you a little bit more about what LEAP does, and vice versa with LEAP members that don't use i360. We'll give you a little bit of an understanding of why these guys are such badasses. So again, feel free to fill that out. We'll leave it open for about another 10, 15 seconds. Right now we're at 63% voted. Come on, folks. We can do better than that. Let's at least get it over 75% and I'll shut up. We're so close. All right, we're there. All right, we can close that out. That works perfect. So we got some pretty good data there. This will give us a really good understanding of where everybody's coming from, and we can get this thing kicked off. So like I said, I'm James. I'm the VP of Marketing and Partnerships for Leap. If you have attended any webinar that we have done, it's my annoying voice that has been rattling off who we are and what we're doing on every single one of these for the last couple months. We've also got Caroline on the call, VP of Sales and Marketing with Improveit 360. So she's going to introduce herself, give you a little bit of an understanding of who the company is and history, etc., in just a couple slides. So first things first, here's the agenda we're going to be covering today. Obviously, we're announcing the partnership. It's formal, it's exciting, it's inked, it's done, we're pumped. We're going to be diving into a little bit of the team intro for Improveit 360, as well as the functionality of their systems and really their ethos and methodology. We'll then dive into a little bit of the Leap integration, so how the two systems work together, and then also just how Leap works in general. So throughout the Leap demo, I'm also going to be diving into each one of the different sections and giving you an understanding of how it plays into the bigger picture with i360. And then lastly, we're going to open this up to Q&A. We got a lot of people on this call today that use both tools. I guarantee you're here because you have questions and you want to know more about it. So really kind of cool stuff that we've got in the works, way more than we've ever done in the past. So we'll dive into a little bit of that. So feel free, drop those questions in throughout. You do not have to wait until the end. Okay? Cool. Moving on. So again, we're announcing the partnership. We're really pumped about it. First thing you guys have to understand too is the partnership strategy here at Leap is not as simple as, hey, there's a company that one of our customers uses, or hey, there's a company out there that's in our industry. Let's partner. No, not at all whatsoever. When we put our partnerships together, we don't just partner with everyone. We're not that cheap of a date. You know, we like to at least get dinner and a drink out of it. So more importantly, when we look at who we partner with, we want to make sure that, number one, more so than anything, it's going to make our customers' lives that much better. All right, we never want to partner with someone that's going to dangle a carrot, potentially get somebody excited, and then make their life a living hell. No, 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 no. So in this case, we make sure that every single partner that we bring onto our system, that we build an integration for, is invested in your success, is invested in the success and the future relationship of both tools, but more importantly, is going to be a really seamless fit just from a technological standpoint. We don't want hiccups, we don't want bugs, we don't want any of that crap living in the systems. So again, one of the things that we did going when we approached i360 early on was like, hey, there's a lot of really cool things that we know are going to benefit our customers. It fit perfectly into this strategy. We also have to ask ourselves, great, why a CRM, right? There's a lot of CRMs out there, but I'll tell you what, not all of them are created equal, all right? In this space, leads drive pretty much everything. You could have the best products, the best installers, the best customer service, the best everything. However, you don't have leads, you don't have a business. So if you don't have a tool that can not only manage the top of the funnel, but also the production side of it at the end of the funnel, well, guess what? You're going to make yourself really, really, really difficult day-to-day work environments because you don't have that CRM. So in this case, again, that also brings me to my next point, which is why i360. So from the Leap perspective, why we partnered with these guys specifically, number one, they're incredibly innovative. When you look at the automation and some of the other functionality that they bring to the table, it's incredible. They're built on the bones of Salesforce, which if you look at number 5, I'm kind of jumping around already. Guess what? We use Salesforce for our own internal processes at Leap. It's arguably the most powerful system that exists, period. I'll probably say this at least like 3 more times, so don't get too annoyed when I say it. It's not me being kitschy or pitchy or anything like that. It's Salesforce has buildings. Like not little ones, they have skyscrapers. And the reason they've been able to build them with their name plastered on the side of it, or the reason they're able to hire Metallica to play Dreamforce is because they're really good. Did you get to see that, by the way?
No, but that would have been cool.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty unreal. So anyway.
It's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, they have that kind of firepower, you guys. They want to make it known that they are as powerful as they are. The features that they come out with on a day-to-day basis, the support, et cetera, it's incredible. We also serve similar audiences, and we were both grown from within the industry. Again, Leap was created by someone who sold exterior remodeling. They were at the kitchen table. That's where we came from. We've since become a much bigger juggernaut in the tech space, but it started with that understanding of processes in the industry. Same thing with these guys. And then more than anything, we're all so unbelievably customer focused. So again, I could rattle on all day long about this, but you guys are going to get annoyed. Let's keep this thing rolling. So I'm going to turn it over to Caroline. Again, I'm on these all the time, so you're probably sick of my voice. Let's hear from her. She's going to give you an understanding of who she is, her role within the organization, and then give you a little bit more of an understanding not only of the history of i360 and where they've come from, but also what their product can do for you guys, or if you're already using it, what you can do to level it up. So I'm going to hand it over.
Cool.
Mute it on my end. Let's rock.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much, everybody, for joining us today. I am Caroline Crawford from Improveit 360. I am the Vice President of Sales and Marketing here, and I've actually been with the organization since February, and it has been a great day ever since I joined this company. And it is, a company that is growing. We are a leader in this business optimization space, and what we really know is that businesses need to succeed, but they have to succeed with having a system in place that forces everybody to follow profitable, repeatable processes. And the Improveit 360 platform is built to assist customers to do exactly that. Cool. This is going to be a little odd because, I have to hesitate so he can change my screen for me. But anyway. So
I'm driving, everybody. I'm the nerd running the
right?
projector.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So what does Improveit 360 do? Well, we use technology, and the technology that we build, like has been said before, is built on the Salesforce.com platform. But what we're really doing is systemizing best practices. And we really want to help businesses standardize their processes and maximize profit, right? So we're going to help you automate, manage, transform your business, and allow you to grow. And the growing part of this is really important because this system is scalable. You can start out with one location, few folks in the field, and guess what? You decide that you're going to open up another location. Great. It's adding users. They're able to jump right in. If you want a franchise, you can do that with the Improveit 360 platform. So we can start you from small to large and everywhere in between to really transform the business. So how do we help you sell more? So everyone knows that there's kind of two things that happen at a sales appointment, right? You sell it or you don't. Well, what happens when you don't, or they never sat for an appointment? You have to, in order to really get the most out of every marketing dollar, every lead, you need to recycle these folks, right? You want to continue to reach out to them at a specific cadence. Our system is built to do that automatically. The customers can decide what that cadence needs to be, but it's going to force folks to be able to recycle, reach back out to those folks, continuously try to get them into your sales funnel. Rehashing are folks that actually sat for the appointment, but they weren't ready to buy yet because, about 50% average or whatever, people will sit for the appointment, but you know what? The timing's not right, or something comes up and they, have to send their kid to college or something and they can't do what they need to do. Rehash those folks. Keep going. Keep trying to get them back in, a year or something like that when they're more ready to make that purchase. And then repeat. Guess what? Repeat customers are your best next customer. Why? They've already bought from you. They see your value. Reach back out to them if you sell multiple lines of business and, sell them, siding this time instead of windows like you did last time. It's huge, huge business. And then the next is request referrals. Like it's reminders to ask for referrals. Once the project has been completed, you can set up a cadence and, the call centers have a whole list of folks that they need to call to ask for referrals. That gains you more leads that can go into this whole process where they can have an appointment or not. So no leads are left behind. We don't let anything fall from the cracks. As I like to say it, a lead is never dead here. You are always going to try to sell them something else at another point. And we automate all those processes. And we do it all in one place. So lead nurturing, new leads coming into the system, being able to schedule the appointments, sending out emails through the system, the demo, the sale, taking credit card payments or taking payments right there as well, compliance, making sure that signatures are being signed, all of these things, and the reporting is probably the most important thing that we do for customers. We're going to get into that in a second. The other is
Makes
that we
me
take
fired
everything
up.
right
I love
through.
it.
I know, right? From projects. So now that you have the sale, you got a whole list of tasks and everything like that. We automate that too. So as you're going to see in the next couple screens, we do it all in one place, which is amazing because it gives a business 360-degree view of their business, right? Everything they have visibility to. So what makes us unique? Well, honestly, it is the scalability, the ability for integrations and customization, the security, the reliability and performance, and the reporting capabilities that our system has been built on, which is the Salesforce.com platform. From our side, we've been built from the industry, just like was said before. We've got a full team of folks dedicated to your success. They're awesome people. We do on-site trainings with folks. Folks can come here a lot of times for training. We have programs that have been, really developed, and we're continuing to improve on those all the time. And then obviously, you've got all the information in one system. And because we're, Salesforce and reporting capabilities, you can make dashboards that are configured to your own organizations as well, that really, at an eye's glance, you know exactly what's going on with your business. So let's talk a little bit about the next slide from prospect. So imagine all your leads are in one place. We have the ability for call centers to have call queues where they're managing new leads that are coming in, leads that are, a day old, anybody that hasn't sat for an appointment yet. They just rehash these all the time. And it's super simple for folks to just hammer on the phone. And lead sources can come in from a bunch of different places. They could come in from Facebook. They could come in from, some other lead source, whatever you need to do. The nice thing is that as they go through this process, right, they can schedule appointments, and we have calendar views. They can do actual times for appointments, or you can do calendar blocking, where if you want to schedule 4, appointments in a certain time period, and then somebody else is going to actually schedule the actual times, that's cool too. It just depends on how you run your business. Text notifications. Hey, send out a notification once the appointment has been set. Hey, just want to let you know, thank you for scheduling the appointment. Here it is. Confirm through that. Communication types of environments through the customers. So from prospect, we do all that stuff on the lead side and setting of the appointment. Next slide, we kind of go to the project, right? Everything in between. So we have the ability of setting up, different types of templates for the different types of projects that people do with all the associated tasks. So if something closes, right, and that sale goes to a closed status, customers can create projects around this. And this is just kind of a view of what our project dashboard and information looks like. So at a glance, I can tell that things are overdue, or they're due now, or they haven't been assigned yet, or they're done. I mean, imagine from a production side how cool it is to just look at this and go, okay, we need to figure out why, the bath remodel for Dennis Guptill is totally red here. That's a problem, right? We need to fix this. And businesses can learn a lot from just visually looking at this type of information. And then we have everything in between, which is what the next slide shows. It's the scheduling piece. It's staff calendars where people that are doing these scheduling, they can actually, schedule right then and there, or they can sort by the type of task that these folks are going to do. Is it a specific type of install that only certain people are qualified to do? So they have all sorts of filters to be able to schedule the right person for the appointments that they need to. The call center management we touched on earlier, how cool is it that you've got a list of customers, you pop into it, and you can even click to dial if you wanted to. We've got some integrations with some, telephony providers that allow that. And then you can disposition your stuff right on the same screen, right? Set the appointment, boom, you're on to the next thing. And then, the next slide kind of shows, what the most important thing, and it is badass reporting. I'm just going to say it. I wouldn't have normally, but heck, why not?
It's all
the
good. We don't
nice
have a
thing about
filter on these webinars.
okay, good. No HR on the phone. Okay, good. The cool thing about the system is every bit of information is reportable, right? So organizations can create the reports that they need for their specific business. Not every business runs the same. People have nuances. People want to know specific things. We don't force folks into, here's the report that you get. Too bad if you want something else. No, you want to build a report, build the darn report. That's what it's there for. So, that is the one thing I think that we hear the most from new customers coming over to Improveit 360 is their existing system that they're using doesn't provide them what they need in terms of reporting, 100%. And then from this reporting, right, any of this information on the next screen, you can make dashboards out of it. So we've got a lot of customers that will create like dashboards and they have them up in, if they've got a call center, they'll have, a call center dashboard that shows the number of appointments that are scheduled, how many calls were made, all of that stuff just like right in their call center. Or from a marketing perspective, I want to know like how many leads came in, what sources were they from, are we making the most out of our marketing dollars, all of that. Or if I'm, somebody that's, in the back office, I want to know, at a glance, I'm the business owner, I'm on vacation, I have 10 minutes before my wife says I have to get off the computer. I got to check this. I need to know, like, what are my sales yesterday? What are they for the week? What are they for the month? What are they for the year? At a glance, I can see that, pop off the computer, and I'm done, right? I know everything's okay. If it's not what I want to see, then I click into the dashboard. It takes me right to that report. And now I can dive in deeper and start making some phone calls and firing some people up, right? So it's the insights you need when you need them, which is super important to every business. Every business needs this type of real-time information to be able to make better business decisions. Go ahead.
I will say this, you guys, and I've actually used a lot of Salesforce features in the past. The dashboards that you can create in these, Caroline did mention that for call centers specifically, one of the best things that you can possibly see is, let's just say you're running a real heavy radio ad or you're running a TV ad and you're doing some sort of direct response and you're going to be dealing with any sort of queues, etc. Oftentimes what you can do with these dashboards is they are real time. So what I would do is I had like a 100-inch TV in the call center room that was being used as a spare monitor, and I would project these dashboards on there so everybody could see what was going on in real time. Oftentimes what that does is it really just stokes that competitive flame. You have people that are really just trying to get the best possible NPS, get the quickest ring to talk, get the the fastest resolutions, etc. It just allows your folks the visibility to build trust and just to build a behavior and an environment that's just conducive to winning.
And it's also about transparency, right? We have a case study actually just on that same thing, that they built this dashboard and it created exactly what you're saying, a competition internally, and their sales went up. Well, that's not a bad thing, right? It's awesome. So, customers use things in different ways, and every customer is different, so they can do whatever they need to do with the platform. Perfect. Next slide. All right, so why did we decide to partner with Leap? Well, much like was mentioned earlier, we're pretty specific about who we want to partner with also. But what we found, being both from the industry, our company started the same way. Like, it was a company and they created this cadence of process and built all the workflows and everything around, the rehash and all of that for their own business. And then they thought, somebody else would probably be interested in this and started selling it to other similar type home improvement companies. And then we spun off and now we're a technology company doing this better than anybody else. But because where we started, we understand the processes, right? We understand what customers need and how they need to do things. And we really wanted to simplify and streamline the sales process for customers. And Leap was a no-brainer. We've got a lot of similar customers, and it's a great way to, allow customers to see the value of both of our organizations in playing nice together. Our platform is built as a hub and spoke. What I mean by that is Improveit 360 is a hub, but we allow spokes. Leap happens to be one of those spokes where you can tie information and other partnerships into this. And really what that does is it strengthens our model. It strengthens the value that we provide to customers. And, the seamless flow of information just really increases the selling efficiencies, right? And getting that information back into the, Improveit 360 system, where the next part of the process, the project part of the process, keeps going through, right? And then the whole rehash and everything happens again. They have to go back out to another sales appointment. And this is just a cyclical thing. It's awesome. And we're super excited about it also.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you, guys. So one of the things that we've consistently talked about going through webinars over the last month specifically is we've been talking about this idea around the full lead funnel that you need to understand. Is that when a lead comes in, and we drop this statistic all the time, is that really 57% of your sales are a direct result of lead quality. However, 43% of those sales are directly attributed to your processes. Whether or not you have a good in-home sales process, whether or not you can get that job successfully installed, all those other factors go into whether or not somebody's going to go all the way through installation. So if you don't have full ownership of this entire funnel, you're really setting your company up for failure. Making sure that you have the right technologies at the right point, and when we go through, you can see top of the funnel, like i360 is going to be able to own every aspect of that, whether you have campaigns coming in from 20 different sources, it doesn't matter, 200 sources, it doesn't matter. You can feed those directly into the appropriate buckets and control and manage the lead flow at the top of the funnel all the way through your call centers, et cetera, to get those appointments scheduled. When they are scheduled, guess what? It's a no-brainer. Leap is the pinnacle for best practices in the industry when it comes to in-home sales, period. Does not matter. Like, you put us up against any competition out there, we will absolutely stomp them out. And we're not arrogant in that, we're just confident in that. And then once that job is sold, we need help. That's why, again, when you go back to it for both production and rehash, if that job doesn't sell, guess what? i360, hello. At this point, they have the ability to really manage not only the marketing automation piece. I mean, again, Leap internally uses Pardot to manage a lot of their email, our email and any of our campaigns, which, again, boom, can plug straight in. From a production standpoint, you saw the dashboards. It's really lovely to see a nice big chart that shows everything that's out there, and you can see exactly where it's at any given time. It's pretty badass. So as we go on, the bottom line with all of this stuff, and, I'm going to say these words for i360, it's, again, it's near limitless scalability. You can automate everything. Like, it's pretty amazing what you can do with the technology. The integrations, there's a ridiculous amount of integrations available for the platform. Obviously, they pick and choose the ones that are best for your org or the best for their customers, and they're not going to let everyone in. There's plenty of places out there, especially when we start talking about privacy and data security, et cetera. You don't want a partnership with everyone. There's a lot of jokers. The other thing when you talk about reporting, again, industry standard for reporting is the i360 platform. Like, we use virtually identical reporting internally here, and it's amazing what you can do. Every single line or every single call it column or data point, etc., can have a report run against it with visualizations and all sorts of other cool stuff. It's arguably one of the most powerful attributes to the system. And then also from there, the job management and the integrations, it's a no-brainer. On the Leap side, again, the in-home sales piece, there's not going to be a single person that comes close, not even remotely. Mistakes, thing of the past. Again, paper's a joke. Hopefully none of you are using it, which there was a couple of people, according to that poll, that still are, so we should talk. But at the end of it, you look at all the other components of this, data for days, estimates, proposals, contracts, you name it. All of that is just owned by the Leap system. Pair the two with a seamless integration and seamless flow across paths, it's truly a no-brainer. So I'm going to go through real quick too, and I want to talk a little bit about the Leap integration. So again, when looking at this, I know according to the poll, there were some folks that are actively using i360, not Leap. There are some of you guys who are using both of us who, frankly, probably aren't using it to the full extent of its capability. And then there's also those folks that aren't using it. So I'm going to try and cater to all of you, but at the same time, give you enough insights to really allow you guys to take the appropriate next steps. I will say this just as a caveat before I jump in. If I was to give you a full demo of Leap right now, I mean, this could be a 2-hour call. There's a lot of amazing things that it can do. Same thing with i360. If they went through and showed you all the best practices of the big dogs, which again, they can do, you just have to reach out to them specifically and request that. They can walk you through and show you the full functionality of the system to show you where you might have gaps in your current build or show you how inadequate your other tools actually are compared to theirs. So first things first, actually going back to this slide, I'm going to walk you through just a very high level customer journey. Let's just say somebody reaches out because you're at a home show or they respond to a radio ad or, an online ad on Facebook, whatever it might be. Hey, yeah, please give me some windows. What they can do is in i360, that call center or your office or whoever it is can schedule an appointment directly within that system, and it seamlessly passes over to Leap. So when you look at this, all of that customer data, name, address, phone, email, all of that can pass seamlessly into this. The little I button in the right-hand corner, you can also pass notes over. So if there's an issue in the call center where they're like, you know what, their kid hit a baseball through the window, they need to get this thing done ASAP, please be on time, they're taking time out of their day from work, you can't be late, et cetera, all of those details can be passed through that little I button. So pretty neat that you can have that seamless flow of not only data, but also communication. All of that information then is used to populate every other field. So as you go through and you make your estimates, your proposals, your contracts, you never have to fill it out twice. Plus, if you look on the left-hand side, we've even got financing directly integrated into the app. You can actually have that data that you see passed over from i360 automatically filled out on your credit applications. Pretty phenomenal. We've actually got a lot of, currently we have 4 active, but we just added 3 more. I can give you guys little teasers, but that's not for this call. We're going to be running subsequent ones, so keep an eye on your emails, FYI. But all of that can be done through those credit applications. You never have to fill the same information out twice. Once you go into that home, you're likely going to be using your brochures or other materials, etc. You don't want to be that weirdo that walks into their house with a briefcase of 100 brochures. And more often than not, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, well, I want to see more of this. And you go, oops, I ran out of that at the last appointment. Sorry. Well, guess what? You never have to worry about it. It's true. I will promise you this. It happens all the time.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
So 1999.
Exactly. Y2K. It's real. But when you look at this, you guys, you have full digital brochures. You flip through it like an ebook. I haven't read a paper book in years. Most of my stuff is either Audible or on my Kindle. All right. As you rip through this, you then start drawing out and building your estimates. We've got integrations with other really cool tools like EagleView and Hover that pull in data, so your reps don't even have to measure their jobs. It's very, very cool what you can do with some of this stuff. All of your products, your pricing, it's all in there. So it's truly impossible to sell something that doesn't exist. You can also put together some really cool like pre-populated things like packages, etc. So if you don't want to sell, 9,000 different roof combinations, guess what? Here's your good, your better, and your best. Your reps can swipe between them with just their finger. All of those reports like EagleView and Hover can be used to auto-populate these estimates. All of that seamlessly passes over to these contracts. If you look on this, there's 2 really cool features that you see. One, these templates are all branded with your company. They're all customizable. We've seen people keep these things very basic. We've seen people take these to like full-on murals. They're pretty amazing with like photos in the background, watermarks, all sorts of other cool stuff. More importantly, at the bottom of this, you can digitally sign your contracts. Like you never have to use paper ever again. We also, if you look in the top right-hand corner of that signature box, you also have an integration with DocuSign. So Again, Caroline mentioned what happens if you don't sell it in that home or something comes up and they're not ready. Well, guess what? If you build the estimate and a week later they tell me, oh, hey, I'm ready, James. Send me that contract and I'll sign it. Okay. Boop. DocuSign. They can sign it remotely and wham, bam, I don't have to go back to the house. All right. As a business owner, I would rather have my reps in the field selling another job. This one, all I got to do is send a DocuSign. As we keep cruising, the other thing is you need to know what happened on site. All right. If you look at this, all of these fields that you see here, once I result this lead as either I sold it or I didn't, these are the exact same fields that you're likely going to be seeing in your instance of i360. When I update this, it can push back and update that lead record. All right. Every other document that I create, whether that be those reports that I mentioned, like an Eagle View or a Hover report that I use, whether it's a signed contract, a proposal, a survey, a credit application, anything like that, those documents can actually be saved as attachments directly to that lead record within i360. It's pretty badass. All of this information that you handle, even that note, can be pushed right back into the system. It also has the ability to generate what you see here, which is a summary of the order. All right. In this case, I've not only got my digital measurements, so we don't have to worry about reps with like doctor level handwriting. Is that a 2 or is that an S? Is that a 7 or is that a 1? The difference between a 7 and a 1 when you talk about the cost of a square of shingles, pretty big. You don't want that person making some sort of astronomical mistake that's then going to beat your wallet up. You don't have to worry about that. All of these digital estimates or summaries, can be created once I go and result that lead. All of this information, again, can be saved back as an attachment on that lead record within i360. Lastly, we did a webinar on this on Tuesday, guys. Data. If you didn't catch it, it's on our YouTube channel. I'm a data nerd. I love data. All right. And one of the things that you get within Leap is you get a clear, concise understanding of absolutely everything that happens within that home. Every time your rep touches the screen of their iPad, there's a timestamp and there's an action. So I not only know what they did, I know when they did it. That way, if I'm starting to try and figure out, okay, what happened in the home? Why is that person in a rut? What's the difference between my top and my bottom reps when they go into a house? Traditionally, the only way you're getting that is one of two ways. One, your rep tells you, oh yeah, this is what happened. 99% of the time, it's probably bullshit. But the other side of it is you're shadowing that rep. And frankly, when you're standing 3 feet behind a rep, A, it's awkward for the homeowner. B, that rep's not going to be behaving like they normally would. They're going to be on their best damn behavior possible because boss is standing right behind them. So again, you want unbiased understanding of what happens in the home. There it is. Boom. So the thing we need to recognize is I took you through a very quick journey of what it looks like in Leap. Frankly, if you're looking into using a system like this, you should have your whistle wet enough that you want to have a demo. Like, being totally candid with you, there's some really cool things that I didn't even touch on. So if you're at all remotely interested, not only in understanding the full potential of Leap if you're an existing customer, demo. If you're a prospective customer that's never seen this before, demo. I promise you, we will blow your mind. All right? The other thing I want to do is I want to take this time to go back, and when we talk about things like data, right, this is a huge part of the i360 presentation as well. You have to understand one of the things that we've done with this formal partnership, you guys, and Caroline, you can attest to this as well. We wanted to approach this a little bit different than a traditional partnership. All right. We recognize that we have integrations with other CRMs, right? But one of the things that we've made a point of doing with Improveit 360, understanding the functional capabilities and scalability of their systems, is we've decided, as organizations working together, we want to take this opportunity to develop not only an amazing integration and API. API is basically that little, call it that little messenger pigeon, if you will, that takes information. Go ahead.
I said it was hook. It's a hook for information.
Yeah, hooks. Yeah, okay, both things, webhooks or APIs, all that good stuff. So the beauty of all of this is we can take this opportunity to create the deepest possible integration of anything that you've ever seen before. So that literally any data that's created within Leap can be pushed back into a specific place within i360 and vice versa. The more seamless we can get that communication of data up and downstream, the better your life is going to be. So we're actively working right now to deepen this to a point that no one has ever done before. It's going to be pretty badass, and that's saying it lightly. So all these data points, all the other functionality in the field, all the other things that are happening with that rep in the house, all of that can be pushed back so that you can then start tapping into the capabilities of reporting and dashboards within i360. And it's, oh my God, I get giddy thinking about what it's going to be able to do. But it's something that we're actively working on right now, guys. So for that large percentage of attendees today that use both of our systems, you should probably be doing a bit of a happy dance right now. There's going to be some really, really badass stuff coming down the pipeline.
There definitely will be. And I think I know the first question that everyone's going to start chiming in on the questions is, when's that going to happen? We're working through it, guys. We'll keep you updated as to the feature functionalities that will be available. We'll make sure and communicate, things as they start happening. But, we've got this part in place. So now it's time to, be able to continue to improve it.
Exactly. And we're going to be doing subsequent webinars on this stuff, you guys. So not only when we do start releasing these additional plugins and additional integrations, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be hosting webinars to describe them. They can be part of that mini series that we're calling more of our Leap Academy minis, those like 15-minute FYIs. They'll be part of that. We're also going to start bringing in some of the power users that are part of the betas. So as organizations almost volunteer to be guinea pigs, so to speak, we're going to be testing a lot of this stuff alongside them. Keep in mind, if you guys aren't really aware of this yet, i360 is the tool that powers some of the biggest and most powerful organizations in this space, period. Like, we do too, obviously, but I mean, compared to other CRMs that are out there, like, these guys have some of the biggest and baddest customers. So we're going to be bringing some of those individuals on as like the guest speakers, so to speak, or the power users to talk best practices. So what I want to do is hopefully we give you guys at least enough of an understanding as to what's coming. Let's talk a little bit about specifics. So if you have questions, feel free to start dropping them in there. We've got one in there right now. Keep them coming, you guys. This one's from Casey. It says, when an appointment is sold in Leap, is it going to be able to push over all of the sales information to Improveit 360, or do we still have to enter the information manually? So I will pass this over to you guys, but I want to say, go ahead. Then I was going to say,
and we knew that was going to be the first question.
We did.
Go ahead.
So we actually are prepared for this.
Yep.
But there's two things that we want to consider with this. One goes back to the integration from a technological standpoint. The other is more of an operational caveat. Is as a best practice, what we've seen with a lot of our customers is that you always have to recognize that information coming over from an estimate in the field is self-reported by a sales rep. So typically what our biggest and best customers, and not even the biggest portion, but the most well-oiled machines that use our products, what their processes are is the second any one of their reps sells something and they result their lead in Leap and it pushes back to i360, they're always going to have a measure tech going back out. So typically what you want is you want to grant access to that document so that measure tech not only knows what they need to remeasure, but also what measurements they need to validate. At that point, that acts as almost a check and balance to ensure that no mistakes that are made at that sales level continue through the funnel. That's one thing that could be the difference between a job getting installed and a job getting canceled. So, Carolina, do you want to touch on the other point when it comes to data?
I mean, Casey, that is one of the things that will definitely be kind of working through, like what information will it be? How would we do that? The systems have to be able to talk to each other. And if you think about, some of the product information would have to jive in both systems, and we'd have to figure out a way to do that. But, there's the intention is to really look at what the potential is for this partnership and figure out the best things to do for customers. But, as James said, a lot of customers, and some of you guys that are out there now, it is not a bad thing to actually have to manually put something into a system because of the fact that it is acting as another check and balance. So it's kind of determining, what do customers really want in the marketplace? Do they want it to flow automatically, or is the best way to still do it is manually? But those are the types of conversations that now that there's this official partnership, we get to start having, which is the fun part of it.
Yep.
Thank you for your question.
Exactly. Yep. So you guys will start seeing more of this stuff coming down the pipeline as we go through. One of the things I want to make sure that we do before everybody jumps off and goes about their Thursday is I want to make sure that everybody clearly knows exactly how to get not only more information, but how to take next steps if this is something that you want to do. So if you're an existing customer of either one of us, what you'll see is on the left-hand side, anyone interested in either getting a deeper understanding of how they can improve their existing i360 system, or if they're interested in knowing more because they want to potentially use Improveit 360 as their CRM, on the left-hand side, you're going to see that link. Feel free to go to that, improveit360.com/free-demo-leap. All right? That'll give them a very clear understanding of what you've been exposed to, what you've seen, and at that point, they can get you all the information that you need on Improveit 360. All right? On the right-hand side.
Hey, James, can I jump in?
Yeah.
Can I jump in real quick?
Go for it.
If you're an existing customer of Improveit 360, the best probably thing to do would be to put in something through the support widget if you need additional information or something like that too.
Okay.
But you could always do it this way as well. Either way, it's fine.
Cool. Same thing on the Leap side. If you're an existing customer, feel free. Either, you can reach out to us at any time at info@leaptodigital.com. You can chat in. You could call your either your sales rep, or you can also call any of our support team to get more information on how to deepen your use of Leap. But if you guys are actively interested in learning more about the system because you don't use it currently, feel free to go to the link that you see there, leaptodigital.com/Improveit 360. We'd be more than happy to take you through a very deep dive, customizing that demo to show you not only what Leap can do, but how it can tie back to Improveit 360. So our sales teams are also very well versed in what i360 can and can't do. We're not going to go into all the nuances because Caroline's team are the pros at that one, but at the same time, we're very well versed in what the integration can and can't do currently. So feel free, if you want more information on Leap, go to leaptodigital.com/Improveit 360. We'll give you everything you need to know. I think at this point, it's basically, guys, the next steps for us is we are going to be, we actually got a couple more questions coming in.
Sweet.
We got 3 that we can jump on before we close this thing out. So Jacob asks, for custom-built integrations, will this new partnership implementations affect those in any way? We'd have to take a look at those typically at a one-off.
Yeah.
But the majority of the time, anytime you build some sort of custom integration with outside partners, it's not typically going to, or this type of a relationship is not going to affect that. Yeah. So usually it's this is going to be communicating. It's a leap between i360, and that's typically where it stops. It doesn't really go leap to i360 to everything else that you use that plugs into i360. It's usually the spoke back to the hub, and that's it. It doesn't go out to all the other spokes. So again, it shouldn't have any negative impact on any other integrations that you guys have built out within i360. So hope that answers your question, Jacob.
And yeah, if Jacob, if you need to kind of talk through that more specifically, just let us know about your question.
And then Kerwin asks, does Chatter go to Leap? I know it's in Salesforce Chatters, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, so
Chatter
Salesforce
is basically
does
an
have
internal
Chatter.
communication.
It is. And if you think about Improveit 360, we have built our platform on the Salesforce.com platform. So there is feature functionality of Salesforce that is not part of our actual offering. And kind of, it doesn't go to Leap, is the answer to that.
Yep. If there
And Chatter,
is,
well, I guess it depends. Like, if they just use Salesforce, I don't think it does it either for them too. So I would say the answer is
correct.
no on that.
You are correct. Salesforce, like when we work with customers that have exclusively just Salesforce access, again, Chatter does not go over. The one thing that you do have, especially on the Leap front, I will tell you, is there are other messaging tools. Some of them are free that do seamlessly integrate with both a tool like i360, things like GroupMe, etc. Some of those can push not only back from internal into Leap, etc., but it might also just be a way of changing your internal processes so that if you're trying to get very clear, concise notes or details of a customer out in the hands of a sales rep, one of the things that you might consider is pushing those over in the notes field rather than have those go through a thing like Chatter. Again, it's something that maybe just is a shift in how you use the tool rather than a full shift in feature.
And we don't actually have the Chatter feature within Improveit 360 because of exactly that reason. It's not reportable. If you're using Chatter, it's very difficult to report on any. You can't. So people will use notes field and things like that you could actually report on from our system.
Yep. And the next question is, Jonathan asks, does resulting the lead appointment in Leap result the appointment in i360?
Yes.
Yep. So when you go in, and here, I think I can go back to that slide here. If you look, this lead result on the top left of this section, you can see where it says lead result, demo sold. If I sell it, that's really the only option. If let's just say was to go back in and I said, no, that rep didn't sell it. It was demo no-show, or it was, not the right time.
There's specific drop-downs. Yeah. James, there's specific drop-downs that they'll be choosing from that. So once it triggers from Leap, it actually does trigger on our side.
Correct. So what you input, where I was going with this is what you input in this slide will actually update the lead record within i360.
Correct.
So let's see.
Good question.
Other questions. Yeah, very good question. Thank you, Jonathan. And again, some of this stuff is also where we are deepening the integration and deepening the relationship. We're going to be trying to point more of those fields directly back to fields, or more of those fields in Leap directly back to those fields in i360. So hopefully it answers your question there. So I think at this point we're good. Doesn't look like there's any other pressing questions right now. Again, folks, these are the links if you want to go back in. Again, for more information on Improveit 360, you can go to improveit360.com/free/demo-leap. For more information on Leap, you can go to leap2digital.com/Improveit360. Caroline, thank you so much for being on the call today. We're really thrilled and pumped about this partnership. Couldn't be with a better organization, so we're really excited to see what's going to happen down the road. For everybody on the call as well, too, there's going to be a ton of more information coming your way. All the different components of the integration that are getting deeper. We're also going to be bringing on a lot more best practices with people who are using both. If you are using Leap and you're using i360 and you want to be featured on one of these, feel free to reach out to us because we're probably going to reach out to you. So with that said, again, we always love guinea pigs. So if you guys do want to be part of some of these tests, we can also talk a little bit more about that. So again, thank you guys so much for joining. Couldn't be here without your support. Thank you, Caroline and team, for being a part of this.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, again, high five. Hope everybody has a great rest of their day, and we look forward to more of these in the future. Thank you so much. Take care.